Hello friends, how are you? Welcome back to the channel SK Codify, and in this video we are going to do the practical session of the error handling in JavaScript. Okay, we have discussed the theoretical part in the previous video, but we are going to do the practical session here. Um, so we are going to cover these points that I have listed here, but not sure I would be able to cover as it is listed down. Okay, but we will be covering all these points. So we will cover what is an error in JavaScript, try catch finally. We will try to understand also the throw keyword. We will see the how the finally block behaves, and what about if it returns anything from finally block. We will see the conditional catch block, unconditional catch block. We'll see some examples about. Okay, we will also see some examples, more of examples we will see here. Okay, exception identifier, what is that? Catch block is optional technically, but not ideally. Okay, we will also see that custom error. We will also try to understand there are some type of error types inbuilt in JavaScript engine. So we will try to see some of them. Okay, there is eval error, range error, reference error, syntax error, type error, URI error, aggregator, and internal error. Okay, so before proceeding further, let's start and first see an error. Okay, so there is a simple program that I have written here. Okay, it's a simple function. It is called greetings, which accept an input, and we are trying to print here something and calling that function. Okay, so let's run this function, and I'm sure you might have observed what is an error here. Okay, so let's run that and see the error. Okay, so here is your error. Okay, see the look of an error, see the how does it look. Okay, so this is the error uh, trace, how does it look. And here it is saying, it also says, it is also saying like here, then here is that error. What is that error? It is clearly saying here. So whenever you see the error, don't get scared. Okay, because you have to debug it, you have to understand it, you have to understand what is the problem. So don't ever get scared when a long stack trace is suddenly appear on the screen when you try to run your program. Try to read the error. Okay, so try to look this kind of information, reference error, and this is the clear message that a is not defined. Okay, so this is basically the type of error, reference error. Here it is listed in a type of error. It's a reference error. So reference error is simply saying an illegal reference has occurred. So here is that a is nothing, we have not defined it. Okay, and we are trying to uh, access it, we are trying to use it. So the clear message here is a is not defined. So it will give an reference error. Let me try to just for a moment. I'm commenting it out, and in place of greetings, I'm trying to call the function called greet. Okay, and let's see what the error it prints. See this again. I'm getting a reference error. Okay, greet is not defined. So did you see? Uh, it's not like, it's not like every error is a reference error. No, it's not like that. But there is a certain type of mistake which comes in this category. Referencing type of mistake comes in this category, reference error category. Okay, reference error type. Okay, so what we are doing? the greet function is, we don't have that function and we are trying to reference our program to that function. So yeah, that's the same reason we are getting this greet is not defined. A is not defined, so either it is variable or function, it's not present and we are trying to access it, so we will get this. Okay, so let's move that. For now let me correct this. Okay, okay, so the next thing, yeah, the first thing wanted to talk about is what is an error in JavaScript. Okay, in most of the major programming language, an error or exception is an object. Okay, is an object. In JavaScript also it's an object, and in JavaScript we have a property in the object, in the error object we have these two property available for us, that is called name and message. So now your question would be like, the object, error is an object, so where it is got created, when it is getting created, and where it is, I don't see that in the code. So yes, we don't see that in the code. So the error object is created as soon as that error occurred. And who created that? The JavaScript engine is creating that error for you and it is available for you. Let's try to use that error object. So we know, now we know when we try to run this program, we are getting that error. We are getting an error when we try to call this function. So okay, now we have to handle that in the try catch block. We will call this function in a try catch block. Okay. So although we are not going to fix that now, okay, we are not going to fix that now. I'm just going to show you where is the object, error object. So basically this is also called the exception identifier. Remember this, this is called exception identifier. Identifier means, yes, this is your object available here. We give it a name, it can be anything. Okay, I can call it error, I can call it message, but ideally don't call this message. Okay, it's an error, or I can call it exception. Okay, but simply let's say error or e. Okay, so when this program runs and it try to execute this function, it founds an error, and as soon as it founds an error, it checks, okay, what kind of error is this, and that kind of, when it identified that what type of error is that, that type of error object it gets created, means JavaScript engine creates for you and gives you in the catch blocks, so that you can uh, tackle with the error. You can do something when error occurred. Now it is up to the programmer how he or she can handle it. Okay, whatever they want to do it. So we are going to see here the name and the message property from the error object. So I'm going to use here the string interpolation, and I'm going to get oh, the name of the error is e dot name. Okay, and the message is sorry, e dot message. Okay, now try to run the program. Let me give it a single quote so that we can read that easily. Okay, so here is that. Oh, what mistake now I did it. Oh, sorry, I have not written this console.log. Okay, so my bad. Okay, see this, the name of the error is a reference error and the message is a is not defined. Okay, So this is how we can get a message that was printed on the screen, that was available in the error object. We can get the name and we can get the value on the message of that. Okay, so now let's go and see this. Now try to understand this try, catch, and finally and throw things. So okay, you just saw me here. You just watched here, like we were calling the function. We were calling a function which was generating some error, which was throwing some error. So how to handle that? So this is the tool, try catch mechanism in there. This we can call it mechanism. This is the mechanism through which we can handle our uh, error situation. Okay. So the try is the block where we write our business logic. Okay. Maybe we wanted to we wanted to write some logic about, we wanted to perform some more logic about greetings method, so that's why we called it. Okay, maybe our intention was to supply this message, perform some more manipulation on that greeting message and pass it to somewhere else. Okay, so just think something else. Okay, so uh, let's talk something here. Okay, so stay concentrated here. Now we are going to cover many of the points here and we will conclude that what we covered. Okay, so now we got an error here. Okay, for now just removing this to talk. Okay, just comment it out. Okay, just comment it out so that we can save our time. Okay, finally block. Okay, so we have try block, catch block, and finally block. The try block is the block where we write our code, our logic, the requirement. Catch block is where we perform the error handling, error situation, means this is where we write our plan B, or our handling portion. If we get any error here, what we can do next here. Okay, and the finally is the block which will always be executed whether any error occurred or not. Okay, remember this. So I think you already know it. Whether any error occurred or not, the finally block is going to be executed. So let's try to write something here. Console.log. What we called try block. Write here something called catch block. Sorry, console.log uh, catch block, and here the finally block. Sorry, console.log no, catch. What is this? Finally block. Finally block. Okay. So try to run this program and see what we see. Okay, as a result, uh, see, we are seeing the try block and finally block. Why don't we see the catch block? Because there was not any error. Okay, there was no error. So the catch block is not printed. Okay, the execution flow does not go into the catch block, but finally will always be executed. Okay, now try to call this function greeting. Okay, see this. I would request you to be concentrated here. uh, uh, See how is the behavior of this try catch block, the statements, and you know execution flow. Okay, so now we are going to get some error, huh? The greeting function was throwing some error. Yes, reference error. So we are calling that function. Now we are going to get this, try block. Try block is printed. We got some error, okay, in the catch block. We got some error in the try block, so the program flow reached here, okay, in the catch block also. But now you would say, okay, now you would say, why that long stack trace is not printed this time? We will talk about that, okay. uh, and after that finally block is executed, okay. So irrespective of program gets any execution, any exception or not, error or not, the finally block will be executed. So the next, your question was, why did not we got that full stack trace? Because now we are running our code in a try catch block, okay. So, and we have that error object here, but we have not performed anything on that, okay. Okay, we have not done anything with this object. So if I say, let's close this statement, okay, and print the entire console.log and print that entire exception, okay. Now we are going to see that complete error, stack trace, okay. See that try block, reference error, I mean in the catch block we are printing the error, and finally block, okay. So for a second let me comment this out. Let me comment this out and just call the greeting function here, okay, and let me run the program. See this. Did you observe the error? I mean, did you observe the program when I was trying to run this in the try block? I was not getting this entire stack trace, okay. uh, but yeah, but you can see without to try catch block, it gives you the this stack trace. So this is also an important thing to understand when you are getting an error kind of thing and you don't want to actually when we get something error from the calling function, from the function which we are calling, we should apply the try catch block there, okay, and perform the and handle the situation as we want, okay. Maybe you want to log it somewhere, maybe for the purpose you can, here the console.log is just for printing that on a console machine, on the console, but maybe you would like to save this entire exception, entire error trace somewhere in file or somewhere you want to send it. So okay, go that and do that. Maybe you are going to handle the situation, um, okay. So maybe you are going to simply write something, okay. You don't want to print the stack trace and you want to give the simple message like this or this, okay. So as I said, this we just talked about the error messages, okay. Error messages, we have still not done anything logical or anything to mm, to overcome with the errors, to handle the errors. There is one way. See, it depends on your logic, it depends on your program, okay. It depends on the logic you are writing and what you have to do in this catch block. Let's say I'm writing here to call an API, okay, but I get an error, maybe connection timeout error. So connection timeout error is something like I can't do anything on that. Maybe I can do some retry, I can do some retry. Uh, I can recall this method, recall this function. Um, Actually, right now, this is not in a function. So, okay, this is not in a function. So let's convert this in a function. Uh, Function, test function. Okay. Okay. So maybe, as I said, I am getting an error of something timeout or whatever. So we can recall that test function, so that we can give it a retry. We can give it a retry. So this is a recursion way of that we can call this function again. If it is connected, it will work and will go to the finally block. Okay. And even though in this case, if we do the retry, we got the exception, so the finally block will be executed and then it will go to call again the function. Okay, so finally block will always be executed. So okay, let's do some example. Mm, so greeting function is here, and it's try to print a log a. So basically what we can do here, okay, so in case of um, let's remove this. Now handle our greeting function. Okay, so the situation is we wanted to do something with the uh, greeting function. I mean greeting return. Okay, so hmm, print on, I mean welcome page, something like that this method is. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to uh, call this greeting function, and our intention was to take the greeting function and print that on welcome screen, but this greeting function is giving some error, so we can return some default message from here. Okay, welcome guest, we can say. Okay, welcome guest, and finally block. Just nothing, we are not going to do here anything. Are we printing anything? No, we are not printing. So let's print that, I mean console.log, and try to print it here. Print welcome message. Okay, print welcome. So what we are going to print here, uh, uh, welcome guest. Okay, so in the this is a simple handling. Okay, actually hmm, I want to show the examples in recursion way. Okay, let me do some mistake here. Let me try to do some mistake here, right in this method only. Okay, let me do that error here. Let me do the referencing error here. Let me call this b, which is not available. Okay, I'm not calling that greeting function. Okay, just I'm doing the error here only. Okay, console b, a console.log b, which will produce a reference error. What is that? Undefined. Okay, undefined. Okay, undefined, because okay, console.log. Let me print that. uh, yeah, I think undefined method is correct, so let me print that e dot message, and e dot name also, e dot name. Okay. Okay. So we are getting that reference error, and B is undefined. B is not defined. Okay. So this is my handling is what I'm going to assign. B is equal to assigning some message here, welcome guest. Okay, assigning some value to B, and call this method, what is that, print welcome message. Am I right? Am I doing something correct here? Okay. So firstly it was not defined, and then we got an we defined that, the definition we got it defined here, and that time finally block got executed when it occurred, when the error was occurred. And when I recalled that, the welcome guest is printed, and the finally block of that is going to always called. So this is a recursion way of calling. So this is how sometime we need to do to handle that exception, to handle the error. But there are you don't need to always do this. You have to uh, do as per your business requirement. Okay, what the next important thing I want to talk. Okay, so we till now we just saw that reference error. Okay, let's try to see any other type of error. um, any other type of error is okay, any other type of error. So let me call here, let me define here a number. Okay, let age is equal to 10. Okay, and I'm doing a mistake here is I'm trying to do that age dot to uppercase. Okay, it does not make a sense. I'm not printing it here. Mm, I'm not printing it here. Let's try to age dot to uppercase const result. Let's use this result. So okay, just remove this now. Just remove this for now. Okay, so I'm going to do a mistake here. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to perform the uppercase operation which belongs to a string method, but I'm trying to do it on a number. Okay, so whatever I'm going to get, see that this is saying, clearly saying type error. Okay, we are going to get the type error because I'm doing this here. What is saying age dot to uppercase is not a function, means this method is not available in this sorry, in the uh, number class. So it is clearly saying, like, you are performing an operation which does not belongs to this type of variables. Okay, your this type of class. Okay, you got my point. You're performing an operation which does not belongs to this type of data, this type of a particular type. You understand that when we call a type, that means class also, that means variable also. Okay. So this is a type error. Okay, so we saw that reference error, we are seeing the type error. Now we are going to perform one more error, is called syntax error. Okay, so what I'm going to do a mistake here, console.log, and hello world. Okay, and I'm going to do this hash. I applied something intentionally to do the syntax error. Syntax error is that mainly syntactical error performed by developer, like so this way this entire this line of a statement is will find a syntax error which is not being which cannot be compiled, which is out of the understanding of the compiler, the this one engine. Okay, not app.js. Okay, so what we are going to see, syntax error. Okay, invalid or unexpected token means the engine is not getting what are you trying to say. This is not in his memory, or the what I can say, it does not follow the way it was expecting. There is it does not mean to this engine anything. Okay, you can print it here, but it does not mean anything. I can the other example of mistake, the syntax error is this one also. Okay, I removed, I mean, I have just started the double quote, but I have not closed it. So this is also a syntax error. I am not doing it in a right way as it is expected. So it is saying that it is unexpected token. Okay, simply saying, okay, the entire statement is unexpected. Okay, here it is clearly saying there is some problem, bro. Okay, so all the programming language engines are very helpful. Just don't scared of it. It is helpful. It is going to tell you something. But we developer really scared of the exceptions, the errors. Okay. Now what we can see. Okay. One important thing I'm going to cover is, and I think I'm going a little faster because I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, so in the catch block, see, if you know the Java programming language, we can do that in a multiple. Okay, let me give you an example so you can understand it, how here we are handling different way than the Java or other programming language. Okay, so friends, let's see an example. If I'm saying the error is instance of what do we call syntax error, syntax error. Okay, we can do something here, but ideally you are not going to do anything when there is a syntax error. You can simply throw something message. You can throw a new error, or you can log it. Okay, ideally you are not going to fix it here. Okay, so let me do the example of reference error. Reference error. Okay, but okay, if this is an instance of error, reference error, then um, even, even though these reference error and these type of error are not meant, we is not going to be make sense. It does not make sense to handle this way, but I have to show you something, so that's what I'm doing here. Let's say I can say, okay, I'm giving you an example here. Okay, and that I'm taking a reference that we have already seen. This a is undefined and we are going to get an reference error. So what we can call, we can assign some value to it. Okay, and recall that method recursion, we can do that. Okay, and if anything else is found, any other error is found, just throw that again. So e, if I'm not wrong, this is correct. Okay, okay, oh, okay, no, 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 no. I don't have to do this, I have to call this function. Okay, right, okay. Okay, so you can see we were getting that reference error. So um, the value is assigned to it and then it's executed again. Okay, now why I'm showing this is as I said in the previous video, or also I'm going to mention that now. Uh, Error, or exception is just not about displaying the message. This is about conveying the error type, conveying the error information to the caller method. Okay, and it is a communication between two pieces of code. Error handling is about uh, handling the uh, communication, not a communication error. What I can say, when we call one method from another method, there is a communication happens, and the error handling mechanism is uh, giving the error message to the caller function. Okay, and giving the chance to the caller function to perform something. Okay, so you just see that we can get this function. Let's say if we call this in greeting function here, we can call the greeting function here. Let's suppose that greeting function produce multiple errors because it's, let's say it's a long logic written here. Sometime it throws reference error, sometime it throws not maybe syntax error, or sometime it throws business logic. Okay, business, I mean custom exception. So let's say sometime it says uh, uh, what I can say, some let's say in case of greeting, a proper business, custom error can be like, okay, greetings not available now. The error can be like greetings not available or could not connect to greeting server, something like, but not the message, the particular exception. Okay, uh, I'm running short of time. uh, okay guys, I'm running short of time, so uh, allow me to cut this video off here, and we'll continue that in the day, next video, or I will try to merge the video. Okay, so give me the time. Okay, thank you.